to share with you sort of a few remarks really geared toward what this community is doing here in terms of bringing out the best in people to serve more and more. Is I want to point out that people like me, there's one way to talk about my story. She's self-made. She came from a working class community. I was undocumented as a child. We got papers. We were pretty much always without money. I was a scholarship kid. I went to the best schools, an elite prep school in Manhattan that now costs a Tesla a year to go to. I went to the University of Chicago, to Harvard. I'm an NPR correspondent. That model minority, right? Self-made. And the reality is there's no such thing as self-made, right? So in this book, what I track is how did I actually get to this place? It's a coming of age story. And I look at, first of all, the sacrifice of my parents. My father is a man who spoke 6 languages and could calculate very large numbers in his head, but he was fated to be a lifelong migrant from partition onward, leaving Karachi, going to India, from there to Beirut as a migrant worker, from there to other parts of the world before landing in Morocco, meeting my mom, having us, coming over to Queens. Every step along the way was a reset. He was, irrelevant in the context of whatever new society he stepped into. I can't imagine this is an unfamiliar story to you. I see the nodding. My mom as well. What strikes me about my mom is she had to hustle, raising 3 children while undocumented, working as a seamstress to help pay the bills, and starting a babysitting service. Now, I mentioned their story. These are my parents, right? So of course they're going to be there for me. But what I recall distinctly about growing up is we were poor. We did not know where the money was going to come from. And I lived in a building where everyone basically supported each other, okay? Well, this is what's fascinating to me also about America and the truth of the American identity, is you had Sikhs, Muslims, Hindus, Christian, Buddhist, Jewish, basically all the religions that you hear are at war and killing each other and gunning each other and shooting each other. And you land in a place where you're working class and you have a lot of cockroaches to kill and you have babies to feed and babysit, and suddenly you are each other's support network. I was raised by a network of women, many of whom were single mothers, who were helping my family to take care of me, to change my diapers, to clothe me, to give me ice baths when I had a fever because we didn't have any health care. I was raised by a network of mothers. That's a lot of people. That's giving. These are unsung heroes who in our everyday life actually make survival possible. And I point them out because we in this room, I get this sense, we have this sort of really treasured position of not just having to live our own lives, but seeking out how to inspire others to give, to see the importance of it. And what giving does, and I know this from my upbringing, is it creates connection.